Let's go ahead and review your study guide. Remember, our test is coming up next week. To calculate the perimeter, you should have written in here, we need to add the outside. To find the area of a rectangle, it's length times width. So let's take a look at our rectangle here. What did you get for the perimeter of your rectangle? You should have gotten 38 centimeters for your perimeter, and for your area, it's 11 times 8, 88. Don't forget centimeters squared. A polygon is a closed straight figure with 3 or more sides. Let's take a look at some of our polygons here. Remember, 5 sides is a pentagon, 6 sides is a hexagon, 8 sides is an octagon, and 10 sides is a decagon, like a decade. Let's think about how a square and rhombus are similar and different. Remember, a square and a rhombus both have 2 sets, this is a symbol for parallel, of parallel sides, and all the sides are congruent. They're different because a square has all right angles, but a rhombus has acute and obtuse angles. This is a symbol for angles. Mrs. Feynman needs paper for her bulletin board. The length is 2 1/4 yards and the width is 1 1/2 yards. What's the area of the bulletin board? Remember, for area, we need to multiply. We're doing 2 1/4 times 1 1/2. You can leave these as fractions, but remember you need to make them improper. You can also, if we make them improper, it'd be 4 times 2 plus 1, so 9/4 times 3/2. Then we would multiply, and then we would turn this back into a mixed number. What would 27/8 be as a mixed number? You should have gotten 3 3/8 yards. You could have also made this into 2 1/4 or 2.25 times 1 1/2, 1.5. You could have multiplied like this as well. If you had multiplied, then we would get 3.375 like this. And remember, we would label it yards. What did Mrs. Feynman forget to do when she labeled her answer? I forgot to square them. Let's take a look at our next one here. If I want to put a new carpet down in my bedroom, I need the perimeter and area. So if I'm taking a look here, I need to see which of my sides is missing. So it looks like I have 2 missing sides. So remember, if I'm looking up here, I want to look right down below. So the top green here should be what? 8 feet. Now I'm going to take a look across the side here. So if I look, I have 2, 5, and 2. What should this be here? This should be 9 feet. So for your perimeter, we're going to add up all those sides. And don't forget, there's also a little 2 in here, and it looks like I have them all, but look, I only added in 4. So it's very easy to mix these up, right? I have 2 plus 2, but I forgot the last 2 plus 2. So my answer for perimeter should be 42 feet. Now remember, when we're looking for area, we can break this down into 3 separate rectangles. So if I'm looking at 3 separate rectangles, my rectangle up here at the top, right, would be 8 times 2, and the same for the bottom because those are the same. And then here in the middle, I need to take a look. It is 5 by 10. So if this is 5 by 10, I'm doing 5 times 10. So this is 50, and this is 16, and this is 16. So for the area, we should get 88 feet squared. Let's take a look at our next question. If I have a square picture frame and one side measures 4.5 inches, if I'm looking for the area of it, I know it square has all the sides are congruent. So I'm going to do 4.5 times 4. You could have also added them up, 4.5 4 times. Either way, we would get 18 inches. Let's take a look at our next one here. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 24 feet and the width is 3, what's the length? So we know we have 3 and 3, which gives me 6. So now I want to think 6 plus what equals 24. So I know I have 18 left to go. So if I split 18 in half, each of these sides would be 9. The length of it would be 9 feet. Take a look at your chart. Make sure that you have filled these in like I have here. This is the only thing you need to memorize for the test. So make sure you have these numbers memorized. Remember, the metric system goes by the power of 10. Now let's use our proportions here. So if we have 60 inches, we want to think about feet. So I want to come back to thinking about 12 inches in 1 foot. So if we need to get to 60 inches, I'm going to think 12 times what gets me to 60? 5. So 5 feet is the same as 60 inches. How about here? Again, 12 inches in 1 foot. If I need to get to 4 feet, then I'm going to multiply by 4. What do we get here? You should get 48 inches. Let's take a look here. So this time we're doing 1 times 12. So this time it's a big number. 36 times 12, what does that give me? You should get 432 inches. So here I know 3 feet is 1 yard. So you want to think about 8 feet. This one is not going to be on the test. This one is a little harder, but I do want to show you how to do it. So this time we can't multiply to get a whole number. So we're going to use that cross multiplying like we did in our ratios unit. This diagonal equals 8, so my other diagonal needs to equal 8. So remember, 8 divided by 3, we can write it like this. What is 8 over 3 as a mixed number? You should get 2 2/3 yards. If you got a decimal answer, that's fine, or you could leave it as a fraction, but remember, this one is not going to be on your test. On our next one, we can see that 6 feet is 72 inches. So 6 feet would be more. Here, we know there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we're going to multiply each by 5. What did you get when you multiplied? You should have gotten 26,400 feet in 5 miles. So we know 5 miles would be greater. Now that you're finished, go ahead and start your math space. Remember, our password for math space is 1, 2, 3, 4, all lowercase. Thanks for watching.